All right, let's talk about flax. Now, you probably think of those little seeds you sprinkle on your yogurt, right? A health food. But for most of human history, flax was famous for what people wore. Yeah, this is a plant with a wild dual identity, one that quite literally dressed and fed our ancestors for thousands of years. So, let's get into it.
You know, this quote just hits the nail on the head. We've got gardeners who grow food, some who grow medicine, but growing your own clothes? That's a whole other level. We're so used to specialized crops these days, but flax? It's a true multitasker. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? Where do our most basic things, what we eat, what we wear, actually come from?
And get this, even its scientific name, Linum usitatissimum, gives the game away. It literally translates to most useful. I mean, talk about a title. And it's a title that was earned over thousands of years by giving us two of our most fundamental needs from one single, pretty remarkable plant.
Okay, so here's the core concept, the whole shebang. From the stem of this one plant, you get these incredibly strong, durable fibers that we turn into linen fabric. But then, from the flowers, you get seeds just packed with nutrients and oils. It's the same exact plant, but it leads you down two completely different roads.
All right, so if you're thinking about growing this amazing plant, your single most important decision happens way before you even open the seed packet. You have to ask yourself one question. Am I doing this for food, or am I doing this for fabric? Because believe me, that one choice, it changes everything that comes next.
And you can see right here how form just perfectly follows function. It's so cool. The flax varieties grown for fiber, they're bred to be super tall and straight, kind of like these skinny little poles, all to maximize the length of those precious fibers. But the flax for seeds? Totally different story. It's bred to be short and bushy. The logic is just super simple. More branches means more flowers, and of course, more flowers means way more seeds.
But here's the good news. No matter which path you choose, the beginning of the journey is exactly the same. The basic steps for getting flax from a tiny little seed into a flowering plant? Yeah, they follow the same rulebook.
And we're not talking about a long wait either. This journey is quick. Flax is a super fast-growing annual crop. We're talking about going from seed to a full-grown, harvestable plant in about 3 months. That makes it a really satisfying project to tackle in just one growing season.
So, what does it need? Well, the basics. Full sun, good soil. But listen up, here's a crucial tip. Whatever you do, resist the urge to over-fertilize. Seriously, too much nitrogen makes the stems weak and flimsy, causing them to just fall over, which is a total disaster if you're aiming for those long, strong fibers. Oh, and another thing, it absolutely hates being moved. So you've got to plant those seeds directly where they're going to live out their lives. Now, you don't plant flax in nice, neat little rows like you do with corn or beans. No way. You use a method called broadcasting. You basically just scatter the seeds really densely all over the prepared bed. And this crowding, it's totally intentional. It's like you're creating a little competition. It forces all the plants to race for the light, encouraging them to shoot straight up instead of branching out. And that is exactly what you want for that high-quality fiber. Okay, but there is one major challenge in those early days. I'm not gonna lie. These young flax plants, they're pretty delicate, and they can easily get just completely overwhelmed by more aggressive weeds. So for the first few weeks, you have to be on top of your weeding game. It's absolutely critical if you want to give your crop a real fighting chance to get established.
So, let's fast forward. You've done everything right. You've got this absolutely beautiful field of blue flowering flax just swaying in the breeze. You've won the weed war. It looks amazing. The big question is, now what?
And this, right here, is the fork in the road. This is where the story splits in two. Because the method and, crucially, the timing of your harvest are completely different depending on what you're after. This is the exact moment that first choice you made, seed or fiber, really comes into play. And I'm telling you, timing is everything here. For seeds, it's pretty simple. You wait for the plant to totally dry out. You want to be able to literally hear the little seeds rattling around in their pods. But for fiber, you've got to jump in much earlier. If you wait too long, those fibers get coarse and brittle and they're basically useless. So you have to pull the plants while the stems still have some green life left in them. So harvesting for seeds, it's actually pretty straightforward, especially if you've ever harvested any kind of grain before. You just cut the stalks, let them dry completely, and then you thresh them. And threshing is really just a fancy word for, well, beating them. You do that to break open the seed pods and release all the seeds. And finally, you winnow, which is basically just using wind to blow away all the leftover plant junk.
Okay, but for fiber, listen closely. You do not cut. This is the single most important difference. You have to grab a handful and pull the entire plant straight out of the ground, roots and all. And you might be wondering, why? Well, it's because those amazing, valuable linen fibers run all the way down deep into the root system. If you cut the stem, you'd be throwing away several inches of your most precious fiber.
Okay, so after all that hard work out in the field, we finally arrive at the finished products. Let's take a look at what you actually get at the end of these two very, very different paths.
The seed path, it ends with a really simple, super rewarding harvest. You get a nice big jar full of these incredibly nutritious flax seeds, just packed with those healthy omega-3s. It's a direct, totally accessible, and really healthy reward for your effort.
The fiber path, though, oh boy, the harvest is just the beginning. This timeline right here shows the unbelievably labor-intensive process that's still ahead. After you ripple off the seed heads, the stalks have to be redded, which means rotted. Then they're broken to shatter the woody core, scutched to scrape all that junk away, and finally hackled, which is basically combing the fibers. It's this whole multi-stage transformation that has barely changed in thousands of years. It's incredible.
Now, of all those steps, redding is probably the most fascinating and the most critical. It's basically a controlled rot. You're using moisture, either by just leaving the stalks out in a field to collect dew, or even soaking them in a pond. And you're letting bacteria do all the work. They dissolve the natural glue, the pectins that hold those linen fibers to the woody stem. It's a process that is kind of magical and, yeah, very, very smelly.
And this quote it says it all, doesn't it? Growing flax is easy. Turning it into a shirt is hard. The difference in difficulty between these two goals is it's immense. The gardening part, that's the easy bit. But turning that plant into actual fabric, that is an art form that requires an incredible amount of patience and skill.
So after hearing all that, you might be thinking, why on earth would I grow flax? Well, even if you have zero plans to weave your own shirt, which, let's be honest, is most of us, it's still an amazing plant. It connects you to thousands of years of human history. It's stunningly beautiful. I mean, a whole field of those sky blue flowers is just breathtaking. And hey, at the very least, you get a great harvest of superfood seeds and you get to add something truly unique to your garden.
So that leaves us with the big question, right? Could the most useful plant in history actually find a place in your garden this spring? It's something to think about. Whether it's for the superfood you can add to your meals or just the simple, stunning beauty it brings, it's a real connection to our past and a powerful reminder of where our most essential things have always come from.